Okay, good morning, everyone, and happy Monday. You guys already know what it is. It is a leg day today. We're going in on our lower body strength and our core and abs. So today, for equipment, I have my 8-pound dumbbells, I have my loop bands, and I also have this cute chair that my mother hand painted. But it is an alternative that I'm going to use today that I will be stepping up onto. So if you guys have something like this, that is safe and stable that you can step up onto, you can use that. And of course, if you don't, I have options that do not need the chair. So, okay, let's get you guys started with the warm-up, which starts down on the floor with our bow and arrow. So we're gonna get right on down here, as we do best on a Monday, and lay on our side, taking our top leg, stacking it, weaving it underneath the bottom, stacking arms, shoulders, taking a big inhale, and then exhaling, crossing the body. See how we feel today. Trying to get the shoulder down, keep the knee down. If you have room, you can extend this arm out. I don't have room. So I'm just gonna bend it and try to get it down to the floor. And then reach up and over my head and reset back to this position. So we're doing 5 of these per side. And I'm just gonna scooch, so I have a little bit more room here. There we go. And so we'll exhale as we cross, seeing if we can keep the knee down, get the shoulder down. We have been here before, and we'll go through 5 per side. So you guys can get 5 going on this side, seeing if you can get a bit more comfortable towards that last one. And then we switch, so you can just turn around, whatever you gotta do, over to the other side. I got my niece and nephew in the next room. I gotta go lay down the law. Okay, so we'll go through 5 and 5, and then do not get up. You guys are gonna stay down there. Going into the 90s next up. So this is one that we work on literally every week. So hopefully you guys are getting more comfortable in this position. 90 degrees at both of the knees. We want to lock the feet in place. Seeing if we can get both our butt cheeks on the floor is the goal eventually. If not, that's okay. You need to lean back. But we'll flip the legs right and left, starting off with just going back and forth about 5 times. And then we're going to do a little something on both sides. So once you've done about 5 per side, 10 total. If you need to lean back, that's okay. Loosening up those hips and everything around them. We will stop on one side and switch back so you guys can see what's up here. So try to get your butt on the floor. If not, that's totally fine. We're going to take this knee here, the one that the inner thigh is facing down to the floor, and we're going to try to lift it up 10 times. Going through 10 reps, keeping the foot down, hopefully that hip, that butt cheek down. And we'll go through 10, and you might feel a little bit of pinching in the hip, a little bit of work happening in there. 10 of those. And then the next one, we'll plant that knee down and try to lift up this entire foot. Now, this one is the harder one. You might not be able to do this. Like, it might actually just not happen, but it will happen if you lean over this leg a little bit. So if you try it, you go to lift the leg, and it just does not go anywhere. You lean over this leg here, see if you can make that happen, and we'll go through the 10. And once you get it going on, you're starting to activate those muscles. And so eventually you might be able to do it sitting upright, like you tried at the beginning, by starting in that more leaned over position. So we'll go through 10, and then we will switch sides and do the same thing over here, starting again with that inner thigh knee coming up. 10 of them. Going downstairs and getting ready for school. 10, and then we will take the foot and plant the knee down and go through 10 like so. So it is completely normal to feel like serious work happening in this hip. It almost feels a little bit crampy because these are really small muscles and we are waking them up. We don't use them that often, especially not in such a demanding position. So you're feeling that is completely normal. We're going to stand, do that stuff after that one, and get ourselves to the front of our mat, standing hip width apart in our feet, arms down by our sides. We'll step back into a lunge, send both those arms up, and get a nice opening stretch down in front of that hip. So we'll feel it all the way from the hip up into the core, going through 10 total, 5 per side. Trying to loosen up the hips. We'll go through those ones, sending those arms up. There they are. Feels nice to do after those 90 lifts. Those ones burn. Okay, so once you guys are done that one, we are in a squat stance, and we're going to extend our arms over our head. You guys can't see them, but my arms are straight. And I'm going to sit down into an overhead squat, Going through 10 reps total, trying to push my knees apart, keep my arms as straight as possible so that I never see my hands. I want them extended above my head. And we'll go through 10 reps total. 90 degrees is the goal in your depth. It's kind of a squat in, away. 2 more for our warm up. So the next one is about our glute activation. We're going to get our hip loaded step through going on for this next one, where we're going to be doing 10 per side, but 2 sets. So first things first, we'll stand hip width apart, load up one of our legs and put all of the weight on that leg. Soften out the knee, but do not bend it. So we don't want it locked out, we just want it soft. And then we'll hinge the hips back. You can align opposite arms, and then we'll pull those hips forward, going through 10 hip loaded step throughs. So we should feel that hip backside loading up as we push the hips back. And then we're using that tight feeling to pull them forward, which is giving us a very nice activation on those glute muscles. So we'll go through 10 on one side, 10 on the other, and one more time. Oh yes, 10 and 10. But we're alternating. So yes, not 20 in a row. Okay, so we'll do that on both sides. Again, same setup. If the arms totally mess up, you don't have to have the opposite arms, but I always like to do things proper and have that alignment with the opposites. So we'll go through 10, and then you'll do that one more time on the first side, finish off with that second, and then we are headed down onto the floor to get our core all fired up and ready for these strength movements that we're going to start with. So you should be feeling all sorts of stuff in your backside. And if you're not feeling it, sometimes you simply just have to think about it more. Think about finding something to make yourself feel it more, whether it's pushing your knee out and getting those hips back more. Hopefully you're feeling it. We're going to lay on our back for this last one and go through our pressure dead bug. So arms and legs will lift up, 90 degrees at the knees, lower back is into the floor tight. That is so important, you guys, to make that happen right now. And we'll take the palm and the upper of that knee, and we'll push them together. And then I'll lower the opposite limbs, and I'm keeping this guy bent over here. If you would like, you can straighten it out. But if that makes you lose contact with your lower back, as I kick the chair, then don't do it. Okay, the straight leg is harder, but it's going to be harder to keep the back down. But like I said, that's very important. So prioritize that. We'll go through 10 over here. 10 over here, and the same situation down here. You guys are doing 2 rounds of this one. So we'll go through 10. Got one more hump of name. 10, 10. Okay. So going through this dead bug, again, palm and knee, extending opposites with an exhale, trying to keep that back tight. We'll go through 10 on this side, and then we'll switch. And then you guys will do one more round of that. So we'll go back to the first side, 10, and then finish off with that last side through 10. So feeling all the things through our core, our hips. You may even feel the top of your legs here, but really do think about pushing the back down so that you can get that nice core activation, because that is the goal in this one, to be feeling all the stuff through your torso and core by the end of that. Okay. So, good job, you guys. Once you are done with 10 on both sides, twice, we are going to stand up and get you started on these first 2 exercises. So, starting off today, again, at the very beginning of the class, I specified that I will be using this cute little short chair. So I'm going to be using this chair as opposed to the other one I was using with the softer top, because I want to do some step-ups with you guys today and kind of talk about the step-up exercise. And that chair, the other one with like the fancy one, the fancy smancy one, it was not the safest, and it was super bouncy on the top, which made me feel unsafe, as well as the integrity of the chair. So this one makes me much more comfortable, and that's really what it comes down to, is you being comfortable and confident with the equipment that you're using. So we're going to start you guys off with these step-ups. I'm going to do mine with just the chair sideways like this, so I have a little bit more room. It's such a small chair. But this is going to be our first exercise. We're working through 10 reps per side. So first set, no weight. We'll push up onto the toe and then stand ourselves up to the top, trying to lower ourselves down with control, and then we'll push up and step up to the top, and we'll go through 10 all on this side, and I'm trying not to touch this leg down, So if you need to drive the knee up, whatever it is, and we'll go through our 10. So those of you who do not have a chair, your option is our reverse lunges. So ideally, we want something to elevate the floor, even if it's like a stool or a stair in your house, something to kind of make the floor a little bit higher so that when we step back into the lunge, we have a deficit where this knee can go down, which makes it just more challenging for our body. And so if you don't have that, it's completely fine, you guys. You can just do your step back lunges, maybe hold some weights in your hands, and then we'll go through the 10 and a 10, this first part. Okay, we are gonna pair this with something like we do best, which is going to be our front loaded squat. So today I'm going to use my loop bands around my knees in addition to my weights in my hands because I want a little bit more hip work in these squats. So I'm going to take this loop band here and put it on, which sometimes can be the hardest part. I'll put it on right above my knees, just like this. And then I will grab onto my weights, get myself into the squat stance, hold up those weights, and you guys are working through 15 reps of these squats today, where we're sitting down to 90 degrees, standing all the way up. Again, this bend around my knees makes me use my butt muscles more because it wants my knees to come in like this. So I have to use the hips and the glute muscles to keep those knees apart. So I suggest using it if you have it, as you're gonna get that booty work by using it. So we'll go through 15 reps. Your depth depends on your mobility, but 90 degrees is the goal. We don't have to go any lower than this. Okay, sitting higher than this is good for people with pre-existing knee stuff, but try your best to get your butt down there to 90 degrees. So we'll go through 15, and then you guys are doing this again. You're repeating 3 more rounds of it, back to back, little to no rest in between. If you need to grab a quick sip of water, take about 30 seconds, but we'll try to keep it under that so that we can just kind of keep going through these 2 exercises. I'm not sure what that was. Okay, so we're going back to the step-ups. Now, if you were using something shorter like this, obviously the higher we have to step up, the harder. But if you want to make something like this more challenging, you can think, and this really goes for any of these variations, but specifically with this one, if we think about slowing down that down pace, so we can again slow down like this, and that's going to make it a lot harder the slower that I go on the way down, just like we practiced that one day. The other thing that you can do as we start to get stronger and better at these step-ups, because these ones are, they're going to be somewhere in our program, whether we like it or not, a variation of them at least. And there's lots of ways to do these step-ups that you do not need any weight. All you need is something stable to use, and it doesn't even have to be like a chair or something. It can be an actual stair in your house. And then we can transition into doing our step down, where we start at the top like this, and I'm out of the screen, but then we lower ourselves down, and then I don't actually touch my foot down. Okay, so this, although hopefully I'm making it look extremely easy, this is really hard, you guys, okay, to not actually touch that foot down and to just like tap it, but not put any weight on it. So if you're finding that these are getting easy, that is something that you can work your way up towards, is doing that kind of a variation of it. And especially if you are working with like a lower step or a chair, or whatever it is. Okay, so we'll go through our second set, and we're doing 10 and 10, followed by 15 of those squats. So those of you who only have bands, you want to challenge yourself. You most likely have more than one. Okay, you could do this with weights as well if you want to, crank it up a whole nother notch for your next few sets. But if I was to add another band, so if I have this one sitting right above my knees, and then I'll take this one and I'll put it right below my knees. So now, this is point, you guys. These bands are going to be extremely challenging on my hips to do these squats. So this is a great option if I didn't have any dumbbells. Okay, if I've been doing these squats, I've been working on these, today I really want to challenge myself. If I was to double up the bands like this, and it's just way more work happening to keep my knees from caving in like this and coming together. So we have to keep them apart. And I wouldn't ever go more than 2 bands, because that's just kind of silly. But the upper and the lower part of the knee here, this is a really great way to use 2 bands on these squats to really make them hard. And I'll let you find that out for yourself. Okay, so second set, you guys. Leggies. Hopefully we're warming up in here. I'm warm. There it is. Nice work. Okay, so we're moving on to our third set here, you guys. So again, when we're doing our step-ups, our lunges, whatever it is, we want to ensure that we have as vertical of a shin as possible. So we want to avoid too much of the knee pushing forward and try more to have the hips pushing back. And that can start at the beginning of the rep. So before you even stand up, so I'm standing up like this and I'm all upright, and then I stand up, I'm going to have that great knee push forward like that. But if I drive my hips back and I kind of get into that hinged position or that more like athletic position here, it corrects the angle of my shin before I start. And then I stand, and then I'm going to feel it more back here, and it's going to be a lot safer on the knee because of the positioning of my hips. Whereas if I'm like this, then it's just putting unnecessary stress on here. So if you're feeling that, and or if you simply want to prevent yourself from feeling anything like that, welcome to the club. No, you guys can think about that. All right. Woo. So we got one more after this one. Yeah. I realized that this light's not on. This was my hope of having it not go blurry. Seems to be doing all right today. Maybe the light makes it worse. I don't know. Okay. Good work, you guys. Let's do it up. We got one more after this one, so we'll finish up our squats. 15 of them. And working with a normal tempo, whatever you guys are doing, whether you're using the bands or not, we still want to think about pushing those knees apart, getting the knees out over the pinky toes. There they are. All right, so final set, we'll finish up strong here. You guys have about 2 minutes to finish up. Just kidding, I cannot read. You guys have 4 minutes. I thought that said 16, but it says 19. All right, I thought it said 16, I guess it says 19. Woo, 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 woo. It's always nice when you find out there's more time than you thought there was. Okay, so take your time, you guys. Do not rush these. Our final set of these two, last set of these step-ups. So we'll try our very best to keep these a single leg exercise. We don't want any help from that bottom leg. Okay, so if you need a reminder, before you step up, push up onto the toe and then stand up, and that will remove all momentum that your calf muscle, this sneaky guy down here, wants to put into the movement, because it wants to help, because your body just naturally wants to make things easier. So let's take it out, toe, and then lift up. If you're lunging, try to lift up that leg back here so that you're forced to use that leg fully. Oh yeah, I know it's hard like that, but you're gonna do it anyway. Okay, so we'll get through our last set, my friends. There it is. Take your time with it. Stick your butt out at that hinge position. There it is. Good work, you guys. Okay, good job. So we'll finish up this last set here. You guys have about 1 more minute to do your final set of squats, which you should be starting relatively soon here. The last set. Ooh. Okay, let's do it. So as you guys kind of come to an end here, to be done, we are going to give you just under a minute, give you about 30 more seconds to finish this up. But take your time. You can always just finish up while I start to explain the next part. If you guys are already done, go ahead and grab yourself some water. Woo! Good job. We're going to move on to the next part, which you will need that equipment still. Cute little chair. Nice job, you guys. Okay, so breathing through this final set of squats, 15 of them. Okay, once you're done, walk it off. We're going to move on to the next part, which is your split squats with the rear foot elevated. You probably saw this coming. So I'm going to be using this shorty chair here, which is going to be a little bit different than how I normally do this exercise. Normally I have a standard size chair, and I recommend that we put like a softer top on it so that we can have the top of the foot down like this. Now, I could do that, but for me and my body, it kind of makes it a little bit awkward. So I'm going to have my toe up like this, which is what I usually do if the whatever I'm using to do this with is lower than my knee. So this one's kind of borderline, but typically we want something kind of about knee height, which is standard chair. But if it's any lower, for example, if you're using like a stool or a stair in your house, then we will be most likely a lot more comfortable by having the toes as our pivot point rather than like this, because this kind of puts a lot of weight on the top of the foot, which is a very sensitive area. And so you're going to see me do this. If you still have your normal chair, then you're going to be doing it in a normal way. Okay, you don't have to put the toe up, because if the chair is too high, then this is very awkward, and it's better off that way. All right, so we'll start off here. You guys are going to be working with high rep range, 15 per side. So I'm going to do weights and grab them and start right away into my first set of 15. So we don't waste any energy or any reps. So we're going down to 90, pushing up straight, going through our 15 on this side. Again, foot up, down. If you guys don't have something to elevate that back foot, then you are going to be on the floor doing now a static lunge like this. But ideally, we want something, even if it's a little something, to lift up that back foot, as it's going to put more emphasis on this front butt cheek on this side. So we're going through 15 of them. Woo! On both sides. Yeah, here it is. So something you've been recently talking about with lunges and stuff like that is the alignment of what's happening in your knee. So as you guys go down, you can actually check this for yourself and like look down and make sure that your knee is sitting kind of pinky toe outward rather than big toe inward. We want to push it out, which is going to put us into better space and a safer space for our knee to move through. So we'll do that on both sides. Oh, yes, we will. Doing it. Good work, you guys. These sweetie squats. Very nice. Very nice. So these are the first of two exercises. We have a superset going on here. So get through those, 15 and 15. And then we are going to pair this with 15, where all the high rep ranges, hip thrusts. So again, today you're going to see me do something a little different than I normally do. Normally I will elevate my upper back on this chair, but again, because it's a shorty and it doesn't have anything on the top, I'm going to be laying on the floor like this, which is a great option for those of you who, again, are using like a stool or stairs in your house or something. And then I'll put my feet up on here and go through this bridge. And this is going to give me a bigger range of motion than if I was doing it off the floor. So it's going to make it a lot harder than if I was just doing like a standard, bridge off the floor like this. So this is not, you guys don't have to do it like this. You can turn around, put your back like we normally do it, because that's going to be the best option. Okay, out of all of them, that one gives us the biggest range and the most focus on your glutes. This one on the floor with the feet up is the second best. And then the one on your back with the feet just on the floor is the third best. Okay, it is the last best. Okay, so 15 of them, I already told you so. In terms of resistance, for most of us, like body weight might be challenging enough. If we just slow down, and we just think about our reps, and we pause them maybe, and we just squeeze our butt, and we focus on our form, that might be okay. But if you do want to add some resistance, bands around your knees can be used again, just as we did in those squats. Probably just one is going to be adequate. Or you guys could add some weights onto your hips, and that would add more weight to your glutes more directly. So this is us, and we are going through this again. You guys have 3 more rounds of this. We're going through this 15. So all of the reps today. Now, when you are done these sets, you can stand up, try to go right into your next one. But if you do need to grab a quick sip of water, you guys have about 30 seconds in between sets. Same style as that first superset that we did. We're trying not to take too much rest. Like really, there's not a lot of allocated rest. We're trying to just keep everything going, tapping a little bit more into like our endurance today, which you guys are going to feel. That burning sensation that you're probably already feeling. So, sets, let's do it up. So if you're holding weights in your hands, we'll go through 15 and 15. Woo. There you go. Okay. So set number 2, just as strong as that first one, you guys. Trying to move through those reps. Oh yes, all 15 of them. Sometimes what I do, whenever I'm doing like sets of 15, because I find them like the worst. Like high rep ranges, like give me 5 reps all day, every day, or 8 reps, and I will be happy. But as soon as it goes up to like 12, 15, even like 20, that longer stuff, I always need to find something to kind of help myself. And so what I do is I break it up into like smaller sets. I'll do 3 sets of 5, and I'll do 5 of them, and I'll get through them. And I'll just breathe through them, and then I'll just take a breath, and then I'll do another 5, and then maybe take a breath or just try to, get through it. But I don't know why, that just helps me mentally get through the set a little bit easier than just trying to just, count to 15. So same thing with the squats, although they're a little less tedious because it's a double-sided exercise. But they burn! Okay, second round, you guys, let's get it. I'm sorry, I said squats, but you know what I meant. I meant hip thrusts. The hip thrusts. So that's where you are now, which you already know is your hip thrusts, 15 of them. I'm always talking about ways to feel these more. Holding, pausing, thinking, maybe doing that pelvic tilt. Those are all things that help us feel our glutes more. So trying to really crunch our core, bring our ribs and pelvis together, rather than like push our ribs up like this. If you do this, you're gonna feel your lower back. And if you're feeling your lower back, you're probably doing this. And so that's happening. You can take here and here and just crunch them in, which is also going to push the low back down, which is what we do for the core work, which helps us activate our core. So hopefully that all makes sense. And take that into your next set. This chair is a little rippy, but it's certainly safer than the other one. All right, so third set, you guys. Ooh. Let's get it. We got 2 more, and then we are done with stuff. Yes, 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 yes. And okay. Set number 3. Let's do it. Nice job, you guys. Breathing through these. 15 of them. Okay. So second last time you're here, we'll try our best to just mimic the same thing we did on those first couple sets. And you were less tired, less fatigued in the legs. Try to do that. Tap into it. Breathe through it. Third set. So we'll get right down into our hip thrusts. And then you guys have 1 more. And then I'm moving on to the last part of our strength. Woohoo! All right. Here's what you guys. Okay. So we'll get down there. Hip thrusts. Feeling the glutes. All right, so third set, 15. Again, pausing if we need to. Should feel every single rep of those hip thrusts. We should feel some action going on in our glutes. So do not leave the top of the rep until you're feeling that. And then you can lower down. And then by the end of it, you're going to get way more out of your efforts for that set. And then you're going to do the last set because you guys have your final one coming up after this. Number 4. And then no more split squats. We are done. All right. Perfect. Turning that fireplace down so it's only freezing here. Whew, it's always so cold when you start, and then you start moving and it just gets so hot, especially when you're in a house like this, no airflow. Okay, woo! Good job, you guys. This is it. Final set. Okay, I'm looking at our program here. We have 3 more exercises done in a circuit after this, and then it is time to work our core on the floor. So we'll breathe through this final set. So you guys are gonna have a couple minutes of rest after this, where you can just walk it off, grab yourself some water, listen to me explain the last part, and then we are gonna do the last part. Woo! Okay, but we'll breathe through these 15 minutes across the board. Ooh, they burn. And I know you probably at this point don't really want to do them, but you always know you feel better if you do things to your full effort. You'll feel way better at the end of the workout, at the end of the set, later on today, next workout, if you know that you pushed yourself right now and that you got the most out of it. So just take your time, pause them. I highly recommend that all of you do that for this last set. Make yourself so uncomfortable by the end. All right, so 15 of them. Let's get it. Last part here, you guys are, I almost said working off of a timer, and then I realized that it is a different kind of timer. We have a time cap. There we go. Okay, how are we doing? Final set? Let's do it. You guys are done? Awesome. Almost there. Perfect. Okay. So as we come to an end, we are going to move on to the final part here, which takes us 10 minutes. That's going to segue us into the last part, which is our core. So this is the last part for our legs. We have 3 exercises that are going to be done back to back, kind of circuit style. And I'm going to set you guys an AMRAP timer. So that the time cap is going to be 10 minutes. And you are going to complete as many rounds as possible, which is that AMRAP acronym that you hear me saying, in that 10 minutes. Okay, so the amount of sets that you get really depends on you. We're going to follow a standard tempo, or 2 seconds down, 2 seconds up, but that can be manipulated, made longer, whatever it is. We'll talk about all sorts of things to make it harder or easier as we go. So we might end up getting a different number of sets. Some of you might get 3, 4, 5, whatever it is. So first exercise is going to be our step out side lunge. So what I'm going to do is grab onto both of my dumbbells, holding them in both of my hands like this, and then we will step out into the side lunge. Both dumbbells, one will fall on either side of my knee, and then I'll press myself up to the top, trying to balance, stepping out, and we'll go through 10 per side. So you do not have to use dumbbells if you don't have them. You could go body weight, okay, arms can go in front of you like this. This is going to be our first exercise here. So I'm gonna start this timer. We're gonna do this first set, and I'll show you the other 2 on the timer because we have been there before, okay? You guys ready for this? Okay, starting in 3, 2, 1, and go. So again, whatever version you're doing, same rules apply. As we step out, we wanna stick the butt out, push the hips back. We're trying to balance so close to the wall here. And so if it helps to have your arms come in front of you, if you want to start off body weight, see how this feels for 10, you can add in weight second set if you would like, because you will be back here again. Okay, so we'll go through 10 over here, and then you'll switch and do 10 on the other side. So again, we're trying to push the hips back, get that knee in alignment with your foot. You can look down, make sure it's not caving in like this. You want to push it out so that you feel that butt cheek pushing you up to the top. 10 and 10. Nice work, you guys. Okay. So next one, we're gonna get ourselves into that wide stance, side lunging position, and go through a static side lunge for 10 per side. So you can align your feet in a wide stance, toes pointed out to the side, arms in front of you. If you still wanna hold the weights, you can bring them up to your chest or keep them down here, it doesn't really matter. And then we're going to go through a side lunge, come all the way up to the top, butt back, side lunge, all the way up to the top. Our depth depends on us, our body, our mobility, what we got going on in our knees and our hips. So 90 degrees is the goal, 90 degrees. But if you're sitting above that, that's okay. But just remember that we need to push the hips back. So we'll go through 10 reps like this, and that's 10 total, 5 per side. Okay, so don't accidentally do 20. Are you gonna be doing side lunges the whole time? Just kidding. Okay, so this is our second one. We have one more that is to go down. Oh, we lost one. Internet problems. Okay, so 10. Once you guys are done, we're on our back on the floor, going through our bridge walks. So I'm gonna get myself into a standard bridge position on the floor. Everyone's the same. Squish the back into the floor. Arms can lift up. Makes it a little bit harder. Put them on the floor to make it easier. We'll drive those hips up and then take one step at a time, trying to control our hips from dipping or shifting. So we want to get the hips completely still. If it helps you to make a fist in your hands, and if you can't quite do this, you can put your arms down, or you can try narrowing up your feet. Narrow feet is easier. Wide feet is harder. Okay, so we're doing 10 per side, 20 total on this one, and then we're going to get back up and do it again. So we'll go through these. You'll feel a lot of work in your butt, but you'll also feel a lot of work in your core on this one from resisting that urge to tilt and fall in your hips. So it's super important that you do that, okay? 20, yeah. And then you guys have 7 minutes left of our 10. Yeah, just under that actually, 6:50. So we are gonna do it again. Going back to our first one, our step out side lunges. Now the side lunges can be kind of a tricky exercise. It can be extremely uncomfortable, but I really like them because most of the time when they're really uncomfortable and they feel really bad, it's just because we have to do a little tweak in our feet and the positioning of our hips to make them more comfortable. So if you're feeling uncomfortable in them, come down to the bottom and make yourself comfortable, okay? So don't worry about what's going on. Just get down here, and then if you need to inch your foot a little bit wider, maybe angle the toe more, maybe angle that toe more. Maybe want this leg straight, the hips back. And then now that you've fixed it, you'll have a better chance in finding that position every time. But if you're just kind of in an uncomfortable one and you just sit into that every time, it's not gonna get more comfortable, okay? So try to adjust something in there to make that, I mean, it's still gonna be hard. Still might feel a little awkward, but it shouldn't be pinchy or painful. It should kind of feel a bit more natural. So same thing applies for this one, and this one's actually easier to adjust because we are in more of a static position. Our feet don't move, so we can kind of inch your feet around if you need to, and we'll go through those. Again, if you want to weight it, you can have the weight in the front here. All right, and if you want to make it harder, we can slow down, pause the bottom. Woo! That's going to be harder. Okay, so that's our second one. You guys got it. 10, 10, 10 total of those ones, 5 per side of those side lunges. There it is. Okay, so we'll get those in. Again, last one of our circuit is down on the floor. Bridge. So deep breath. Get that contact with the low back. Drive the hips up to the top, and we are not going to even think about lifting up our leg until we're at the very top of the rep. So if your hips are kind of sunken down here, and we go to lift up the leg, you're not going to get very much for that glute. So we want to exhale, drive up, and then lift from there. And again, if you can't do that, widen or narrow your feet. It's going to make it much easier to maintain this position. And for those of you who are getting strong at this one, you guys can widen up your feet, make them a little bit wider apart, and you'll feel way more work in the core. Let's get it. Woo! All right, 4 minutes, my friends, to do our thing right here in these ones. So you'll get most likely about 4 sets, give or take. But don't worry about how many sets you're getting or rushing to get more sets. We want to feel all these things being done properly. All right. Good job, you guys. Okay. So starting our third set. Those side lunges. And we're trying to get that balancing benefit. So as we step out, we come up and we want to catch ourselves here. Okay, try your best to actually balance there for a second. You don't necessarily need to drive the knee up, but we don't want to touch that foot down onto the floor. Because as soon as we touch the foot down, we're kind of taking away that balance. And even a little bit makes a huge difference on how you are going to feel at the end of the set on that standing leg. There they are. All right, you guys, so we got just under 3 minutes, we got 2.5 minutes to get her done. Finish up this set, maybe start one more, pick your favorite one, whatever it is. And there we go. Good work, you guys. Okay, get in there. We got 2 minutes to go. Woohoo! All right, my friends, let's get this finishing strong here. Woo! Side lunging our way to the finish line, to the floor. So we got one more part after this, which is our core. Finish up these side lunges. You guys have 1.5 minutes. Whoa! To go through this. Okay. So we'll try to start maybe one more set. We are going until this sun goes up, which is in 60 seconds, you guys, okay? So whatever you can do in the next minute, again, do not rush anything. So there's really no sense in that. Try to just get through this one and make it as challenging as possible. If you have time to start one more, that's good. And we will have like a 2-minute rest transition time as we make our way onto the floor. So if you guys are kind of like midway through a set and you want to finish, there is technically 2 minutes before we are pressing start on the timer to start our last part, okay? 30 seconds, under 30 seconds, okay? Let's do this. Finishing strong here, you guys. Okay, so whatever you're doing right now, I want you to finish this exercise. If you're halfway through a set, whatever it is, finish this one. If you want to finish the entire set, you got 2 minutes. That starts in 5 seconds, because that's when this time is done here. 3, 2, 1, and time. Stop it before my alarm goes off. Yes, so last part, you guys, it takes us 10 minutes, and it's all down on the floor, and it is all about our core and our abs. Yay. So you can get yourself down there when you're ready. We've got 3 exercises that we are going to do together, and they don't need any equipment. Yay. So we just need some space. I'm going to move my chair out of the way. Dumbbells out of the way. So we have our body. All right. Okay, you guys. So good job. First of all, hopefully you're feeling good. Leg work is done. We're going to finish off with this core blast going on here. So we have 3 exercises, 45 seconds on, 15 seconds off. Okay, so a little bit shorter if you guys are relaxed 60s. So we are going to be working for 45 seconds. We'll have a 15-second transition period between each exercise. We're going to go through the first one. I will show you the other two on the timer. You guys have 4 rounds total, and then we are done and out of here and carrying on with our day. Okay, so first one is going to be our knee to elbow crunches. This is one that we've been recently incorporating into our program, where we have our hands behind our heads, supporting our neck, our legs up like this, back into the floor, and we lower down the heels if we can, and then exhale and try to bring all that together. So again, if you can't touch those two, you don't have to, but we just want to make sure the back stays down and that our shoulder blades are lifting the floor. So this is the first one. We're going to press start and do this thing, and then I'll show you guys the other two. Okay? Ready? Hold on. My timer is not set. The timer in the app. That's the one I'm using here. Just hold it, hold it, hold it. 15. Okay. Are you guys ready for this? Starting in 3, 2, 1, and go. Timer is going. So we're exhaling as we bring it together, inhaling as we open up, lowering down the heels. But if that's too hard, then just keep the legs still. You don't have to move them. Just keep them right there. And go through this one where the shoulder blades are leaving the floor. I might put it on the camera going in there. Okay. All right. Good job, you guys. Let's do it. Let's do it. Keep going down there. So we're going through 15 more seconds. And maybe you're just keeping the legs still. If you want to make it harder, lower the heels down. Breathe through a couple more. 5 more seconds left. 3, 2, 1, and time. Nice work, you guys. Okay, we can sit up, and we are going to walk our hips back. So we're sitting right on those bottom of the butt sit bones. We'll get into this V position here, and we're going to try to extend the arms, lowering, and then come up and touch our heels. And you guys have started. The timer has started 2 seconds ago. Let's go. So chest up, inhaling on the way down, exhaling on the way up. Now, if this is too hard, we can take our hands and put them down on the floor like this. If it's still too hard, you can leave your legs down and pull up one knee at a time, like this. Okay, and we'll slowly work our way up to not having the feet, and then eventually not having the hands. 15 seconds. Okay, so just pace yourself that you have something that you can do the entire time. You're almost there though. 3, 2, 1, and rest. Nice job, you guys. Okay, so last one's going to be a plank hold. So we're going to flipperoo onto our front side into our plank position. So parallel forearms, we're going to try to hold our long lever plank. Starts in 3, 2, and go. So first thing, we'll get into the standard plank with the shoulders stacked over top of the elbows. And if you're good here, if you can hold this, then we'll take a few steps back away and hold the long lever version. But if you can't hold that, then take them back forward, because you have 30 more seconds that you have to maintain some form of a plank. Okay, so it doesn't have to be the long lever plank. You can just simply hold a standard plank. Forearms are ideal to not be on the wrists. 10 seconds left. You guys got this. Okay, so try to push yourself right here. 3. Oh, sorry. The timer's so small. Now we go. 3, 2, 1, and the rest. Nice work, guys. Okay, so that was our first set. We're going to do that 3 more times and we are done. Can we handle it? Heck yes, we can. Let's do it. So let's get on our back here, starting our second set of those knee elbow crunches, and go. Here we go. So we begin inhaling on the way down, exhaling on the way up. Ooh, yes. Okay. If you're finding that you're kind of getting that kind of sharp pain in your lower back, find something to make it easier to avoid that pain. If it's that dull aching sensation that kind of creeps up on you, you're most likely going to feel that now and through the next 2. You can work through that. Try to breathe through it. 10 seconds left. As soon as it's a sharp, kind of acute, quick pain, that's what we want to avoid. 3, 2, 1, and rest. Good job, you guys. Okay, sit up. Walk those hips back. We're going to get ourselves into this V up position. Whoa. Ready? Starting in 3, 2, 1. Go. Let's do it. So again, if you don't have that mobility, the reach to actually touch your heels, you do not have to. But we do have to keep our chest up. We do have to use the breath in the right way. So we want to inhale on the way down, and then exhale as we come up and bring it together. And that applies for if your hands are down, your feet are down, whatever it is. Halfway. 20 seconds. Good work, you guys. So close. Oh, yes. 3, 2, 1, and rest. Good job. Okay, flipperoo. Flip, flip, flip over into your plank position. Get yourself ready to start in 3, 2, 1, and here we go. So keep in mind, if you are still working on your planks, you find them really hard, welcome to the club. Planking has always been extremely hard for me, but things that I've found to make planking easier. First off, focusing on your breathing, actually inhaling and exhaling consciously. Second thing is widening up your feet. If you are planking and you are not going to make it, you know you're not, try widening up your feet. It's going to make your base of support wider, which typically makes things feel a lot easier on your core. And you got 15 seconds, so I think that you can just hold it. You just breathe, okay? Do what you gotta do right now. Do not touch those knees down. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Time. Good job, guys. Okay. Third set, we have 2 more, and we are done. Okay, so let's get through them. Starting back with the knee to elbow crunches. Look at that timing. 3, 2, and go. Here we go. Exhale, bring them together. Then if you find these ones are too challenging, or maybe you're feeling too much in the hip and not so much in your abs, you just keep these legs more in this like tabletop position, and then just shoulder blades leave the floor. So we'll crunch up until these guys leave, and then go back down, and then leave. And we just want a little bit of support on the neck, not too much. 15 seconds. Okay, got this. Breathing, release. 1. One more. 3, 2, 1, and rest. Good job. Okay. Okay. The V-ups. It's been a minute since we've done these ones. They probably don't feel any easier. I feel like these ones are always harder. All right, ready? And go. Let's go. We'll try our best to finish as strong as possible. You guys have all those options, so ain't nobody stopping and just sitting there. Okay, I want you to do something, even if it's the easiest one, even if it's just holding that V position. Maybe your feet are even raised on the floor, whatever it is, stay with us right now. All right, 20 seconds left. That is what we can do with us. You got it. Good work, you guys. 10 more seconds here. So close. Done. Yay. 3, 2, 1, and let's flip over and get ready to plank. Yay. Starting in less than 10 seconds. Okay. Strong plank position, you guys, in practicing those parallel forearms. We know that the hands driven together makes it feel a little bit easier. And go. 45 seconds has started. And this is only a 45-second plank. We've held planks for a minute. We've done long lever ones for a minute. So we really want to make sure that we're challenging ourselves in this 45 seconds, whether we're just focusing on kind of squeezing in more, straightening out our legs, activating our glutes, feeling our core. 25 seconds left. Okay, take a couple more steps back. See what happens in that long lever position. You got it. 15. Let's go. Nice job, you guys. Woohoo! 5, 4, 3, 2, and rest. Ooh, yes. Okay, we're here. The final set with one more. Okay, this is it. The last one. Whoa. Starting in 5 seconds. So get onto your back. Get those arms up. Get those legs up. Ready? And go. Knee, elbow, crunches. Let's do it. There we go. Nice job, you guys. So shoulder blade leaving the floor. Woohoo! Halfway, 20 seconds. Less than 20 left. So we'll try to get through 5 more of them. Slow, controlled. Exhale, shoulder blade leaving. We got this. Couple more. 5, 4, 3, 2, and time. Okay. The V-ups. Woo. Potentially the hardest one. Actually, no. The planking, I find, is probably the hardest one. Strategically put at the end. All right, you guys, ready and go. This is it. The last set of these guys. We'll try to do them as well as we can. Keeping that chest up nice and high. Try to keep those legs up. Get our lower back touching the floor every time we come down. And exhaling up and together. Okay, again, if you're not able to do that one, try to just do something to keep working for 20 more seconds. Okay, let's go. Even if you're just holding here, that's okay. Let's do it. Woo! 10 seconds. Come on. 3, 2, 1, and rest. Okay, this is it, you guys, the plank. The plank. Best for last, right? Okay, so we're going to hold this 45-second plank, and it starts in 5 seconds. So get ready and get set and go. Here we go. 45 seconds of a plank hold. Okay, the last one of the class. Woohoo! For the week, I believe this is the planking, although there's little sneaky planks that we kind of throw in here and there. But static plank hold, 30 seconds. This is you guys. Just tune in, focus to yourself, focus on your breath. Do what you gotta do right now. Okay, but make yourself extremely uncomfortable that you actually need to stop. When this timer is off in 20 seconds, that means you need to walk your feet out a little bit more. Okay, straighten out the legs. Let's go. 10 seconds, guys. Almost there. Don't give up. 5, 4, 3, 2, and now you can stop. Nice work, you guys. You are done. Woo! Hopefully you feel okay. We're going to stretch a little bit here, which you're probably kind of close to. So we'll get ourselves here, and we'll go through this cat-cow. We're rounding our back and tucking our chin. You'll feel a stretch from the back of your neck all the way to the lower spine as we round. And then you can take a big breath in, and then exhale, and arch our back, and look up, and you'll feel the front side all the way down from your core, all stretching out. And we'll do that a few times. So we'll have a couple more of them. This way, feels so nice. And then this way, also feels nice. And so you guys can go through one more. You can always come back here if you really like this one, but we'll try it around the back. Get the core, ab muscles stretched out. And then we'll sit on our heels and walk our hands away from our body and hang out in this position here. Now, if you have sensitive knees, your knees don't like to bend so much, you can find something to put your hands up on. I can grab my chair, and so I wouldn't bend my knees as much. Couch, tabletop, whatever it is, standing position. That is our first one. We got 2 more that I'm going to show you guys. Second one is the hip flexors. So you can do this when kneeling, standing. It's totally up to you on whatever you want to do here. But we definitely want to take some time to stretch these guys out through the core, the leg work that we did. We got a lot of work up in there. So we're going to take at least 60 seconds per side to stretch these guys out. So we can do this in this kneeling position, or recently I've been talking about the standing one. It does not matter, whatever makes you happy gets you that nice relaxing stretch in the hip. That's what we want. Again, these stretches should not be painful. They should just feel tension. And then you can even kind of ease off a little bit and then breathe into that tension as you stretch. So 60 seconds. I'm going to kind of running clock here. If you guys joined me when I first started this one, we'll switch sides. It's been just about a minute. So whatever version you're doing, whether it's the kneeling one, the standing one, we will switcheroo and do the other side. And hold this here. So as you guys hold this one, I'm just going to talk about the last one and leave it with you to do on your own. And once you're done this last one, if you would like to come back to these two or incorporate any other stretches, that is a great time to do that, okay? But we at least got these ones in. We'll get this last one in, which is for your glutes. So a couple ways we can do this one, laying on our back. This is one you guys always see me in because it feels so nice and it gives us that nice stretch on our hips. And so you can hold this one here. Other option, same stretch, okay, just different, might work different for different people's body, is this one. So it's a lot more comfortable because we don't have to actually pull in. You can just kind of sit in it, but it's also a lot less safe on someone's knee with something that they have going on in there. So if you have, sensitive knees, or if you have some kind of injury, this might not be the best one for you. You might want to lay on your back, okay? But this is it, you guys. So we'll hold this for about a minute per side, okay, either or. And then, like I said, if you guys want to do any more, do them up. But you guys are done with me. Thank you guys so much for an amazing Monday workout. I will see you guys tomorrow for Upper Body. Hopefully you all have a great day and you feel great and you are great. Bye, you guys.